my edges. What up, everybody? What up, everybody? Let's talk about it. It's April Dawn. What up, everybody? It's April Dawn. What up, everybody? It's April Dawn. Let's talk about it. Everybody, it's April Dawn. Let's talk about it. This is Lovecraft Country, Season 1, Episode 4. So, child, listen, I'm in my house minding my black business. And I looked on HBO and I'm just looking like, let me watch this part of the episode, because last week somebody in the comments said something about time travel. So I'm like, let me go back and watch. And I saw that they dropped that new episode early. I said, my God is a deliverer. Yes, he is. Okay, he's a way maker. And he made a way for this show to be on Friday night. Okay, so a lot of stuff happened. My edges were snatched. I was on the edge of my seat. I was taking notes. Then I had to put my notebook down because I had got so into the show, y'all. It was so good. It was action-packed. We got a lot more story that developed this week that opened up. So let's go ahead and get into it. So we start off with Montrose. He's drinking and he's like remembering, going through all the memories of everything that happened with Uncle George, him giving him the book, him reading the book. And at first I was like, is he going through this? Did he kill him? Do we have some more information we need to learn? But I don't think he killed him. And he talks about Adam named Eve. God brought monsters, what does it say? Monsters, and then God smites Eve or something like that. So this is from the bylaws of the Order of the Ancient Dawn that George gave him to give to Tick, y'all remember, to save their family at the end. So he takes the book, throws it on the table, and burns it. I said, why you gonna burn? Y'all know y'all gonna need this book later on. Why you do that? And we hear on Rihanna, bitch better have my money. Y'all should know me well enough. I like that song, okay? I used to ride it I used to play it in the car on my way to work because I need to let these people know that they need to have my money down to the office, all right? You see that Christina is speeding through the town, honey. She's going block to block to block. And she shows up at Letty's house. She comes to the door and she tries to walk in the door, but if you remember on the last episode, the lady put the witch doctor, Creole lady, spiritual woman, that lady, she put the ghost blood on their door so, you know, evil spirits can't cross your threshold. So she tries to step in, but she can't get in the house, and Letty kind of smiles at her. She says, who helped you evict Hiram? And Letty is like, how did you know about Hiram? Then she puts together, oh, the money. My mama didn't have no money. You the one who gave me the money to buy this house. She said, I know you want something. Okay, something that got to do with Tick and something that got to do with this house. And she's like,
don't let the men fool you. It's not always about them.
Tick has power in his blood, but that's just because Titus spelled it that way. He's not really special. Definitely not special enough to get away with murder. And she tells him about what Tick did. And if you think about the actions of what she was doing, I mean, by her opening the blinds, obviously she was putting him in harm's way because he can't put his arm down with the gun in it, so anybody could have killed him. So she's letting him know, not only can I kill you, but I also can just open these blinds and anybody and their grandma could just kill you. You know what I mean? Because it's the 50s and you black and you got a gun on this white woman. So she tells him the actions that he's doing is going to get you killed and going to get him killed or whatever. I don't want that. All she wants is the Ori that belongs to Hiram. So I looked up Ori, and Ori is that solar system model that Hippolyta found in the room that is supposed to be the key to this time travel machine. Now, give props to the person in the comments who said last week that they saw somebody speed up when she touched the Ori last week at her house. So I thought that was pretty cool. Or when she was pulling out the pages in the book or something like that, that time sped up, that somebody sped up outside the window behind them. This week, now we know that the Ori is the key to unlock this time traveling machine. I don't know if it's Hiram's time traveling machine, Titus' time traveling machine. I ain't really get that part, okay? So y'all can let me know whose time traveling machine was. I want to say it's Hiram's. But she says she wants the Ori. Eddie tells her, listen, you might have gave me the money, but my name is on the deed for this house, so you can get the out. Okay, thank you. Have a nice day. Christina is like,
well, call me, girl, if you find it, girl.
We see Hippolyta at the work, or I don't know where she is, but she's talking about the solar system model and with her father on the phone. She says it has 2 sons, and then someone comes up and asks her what is that she has, and she says, what's the mechanical model of a solar system? It predicts the positions of the planets, but she can't figure out how to get this one working. It's broke. She can't figure out how to get to the gears. And he says, well, I don't know much about this, but I know that every lock has its key, or every lock thing has its key. And we hear some trap music. I was like, come on, Miss Letty storms up to the library, and she confronts Tick about Christina. Why he didn't tell her everything that happened with them. Well, he says, well, she can't be killed. Is her father alive? I mean, is her dad not dead? And he was like, nah, he had to take off the vulnerability in order for Christina to do what she needed to do. And it feels like Christina used him to kill her father. She was like, you was gonna kill her and go back to Florida? Because she noticed the last time, Tick had his bag. So if I was her, I would have felt some type of way too. Like, you just took my virginity. Like, we just had a conversation and you was just going to kill somebody and just leave. Like, that's what you was going to do? And he was like, I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving till my family and friends are safe. She pissed about this, okay? So this not the first time he done pissed me off this episode. He pissed me off several times throughout this episode. Cause I was like, Tick, you on one, sir. You doing too much. So he walks back to the table and sit down, and she's pissed. So she like, come on, just tell me what all this is about. Tell me what all this you got going on is about. It was funny because they had a little boy at the table, y'all. He was pissed, okay? He was like, I'm trying to read, y'all making all this damn noise in the library, okay? He tells her that Christina told him that there are 2 sets of deciphered pages from the Book of Names in existence, okay? Heron kept one. Eddie is like, oh, well, that's probably why she wants the Ori. It must be the key to the missing pages. Because they're not in the house. I looked for it all over the place. And he also tells her that Titus kept his hidden pages in a booby-trapped vault. She was like, well, I mean, you have his blood. Do you think you can access the vault? He says if he can, maybe he can try to cast some spells to try to protect them. And she like, okay, well, where is it? He like, I don't know. We're going to have to find these clues and we go back to Artem. She's like, talk to your father. Why don't you just talk to your daddy? You know he's done all this research already. And he's like, no, it's a waste of time. I don't want to talk to my father. And he tells her to go home. I was like, you gonna snap on my girl one more time. Don't be snapping on my girl now. You're doing too much. She's pissed and she turns around and leaves out. Then he starts to look at the checkout list for the books or whatever, and he sees that Montrose has checked out all these books. So really, you ain't got to go do no whole investigation at Artem. You ain't got to drive across the country. All you got to do is ask your damn daddy, because he done did this research already, which makes him more mad. He's even more pissed, and he done also made this little boy more pissed that's trying to read his damn book. Tick shows up at a diner, and guess who's there? It's Letty and his father. I guess they have summoned him to come and talk to his daddy or whatever. And he said, you need to stay away from there, okay? You need to stay away from all of this mess. Stop being a damn fool. And when y'all got together, foolish and crazy make a bad combo. Like, I'm not gonna lie to y'all. This episode totally made me feel like this would be my experience if I took me and my uncle went on the Indiana Jones adventure with me and my Uncle Johnny. You know what I'm saying? Like, he would act just like this the whole way. It was hilarious. Michael K. Williams did this. This episode, he really did. Letty says, well, what happens when they don't? Like, basically, we could not just ignore this, but what happens when we don't find out what's going on? Are they going to stop coming from us? Christina came to my house, dog. It's not like she just let it go and we could just forget about it. Montrose says, we are outnumbered, we outgunned. We already got one lodge coming after us. You don't want the other 34 coming after us. And Atticus is like, wait, hold on. How you know they got 34 lodges? And he says, I don't know nothing. And that's the problem. We don't know nothing but what Christina told us. He says he's afraid that, that they're bound to lose this game that Christina is setting them up to play. I kind of agree with him a little bit. I do feel like Christina is setting them up to play this game. Do you see how they just going every episode, they just getting further and further down the line, and she needs his blood in order to do certain things. She wouldn't have been able to get in that vault no matter what, because she don't have the blood of Titus. And she a female, you know what I'm saying? So she wouldn't be able to do that. So she needs him to go to these next levels and do these things. But I don't feel like they're going to lose the game at the end. I think that they're going to win, obviously. But, I do feel like she's setting them up to play a game that she thinks they're going to lose. I think Christina is underestimating who she's dealing with. I think she knows that I think she knows that Tick is smart. He's very, good at figuring stuff out. He's super good at that. You know what I mean? So I think she knows that. But I think she's still underestimating them because I think she racist. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I think that's just a racist thing where they think, okay, because they're black, they're not as smart as we are. They're not going to XYZ, and I think that's where she made her mistake. He's like, this is what I'm talking about. This was a waste of time. I told you ain't need to talk to my daddy. And so he gets up and he walks out, and Letty looks at the father, and she's like, look, Montrose, you gonna let him chase his tail when you already have the answer to all the questions that he need? She gets up to walk away. Well, she says, I know where he get the asshole part of him from, because we know Tick can be ass, right? So she gets up and she walks away, and he's like, do you have family in Boston? he says, I think I know how to find the vault. So now he gonna go with them. Then we see some white children playing hide and seek with Christina in the streets. And then I realized that when her daddy was alive, she probably couldn't play no games of hide and seek. She probably couldn't do this because even the kids is looking at her like, girl, what the fuck? You ain't playing the game right, sis. You grown and you old, like, you don't know. She's like, oh, I'm sorry, I've never played before. I'm like, oh, wow, your daddy kept you from having joy in your life, Christina. That is unfortunate. And so then we see the police pull up on her and they just looking at her and she looking at them. I'm like, okay, what's going to happen? So next thing we know, we see her at the police station. She comes in and she's like Captain Lancaster. So apparently they know each other. And he's like, what are you doing here in my town? I went to the Winthrop house to get the Ori and only to find out that, some Negroes have moved in. What have y'all let, come into this neighborhood? Because the Ori is the, like I said, the unlocking to the time machine, right? So I'm not sure who time machine is supposed to be, but, it unlocks the time machine. And there was moaning in the background this whole time that was going on. So I don't know what was going on over there. And I don't know if somebody was getting killed, beat up, having sex. I don't know what the hell was going on, but somebody was moaning. Okay, I heard that. He says, I'm surprised some Negroes have moved in. What's going on in this town? And he says, listen, you came here to take my lodge as like rightful property and you gonna come right up in my face and say that? So apparently he's over a lodge of the Sons of Adam. Okay, now y'all remember Captain Lancaster was supplying the evil man last week with the people, supplying him with people to do experiments on, right? And so I guess he's in a lodge. I don't know if he over a lodge or whatever. He said my lodge, so I'm gonna guess he the person in charge at this lodge. She says, I'm sorry if I missed your induction into the Sons of Adam. And he says, well, I know I ain't missed yours. Okay, he got something and he says, no cunts allowed. I was like, oh my God, who? He says, you want the stolen pages or no? So Letty and Tick are getting ready for this trip. They putting stuff in the car, child, and it's so funny because they fussing with each other, but they ain't saying no words to each other. They just snatching stuff out of each other's hand. Like, it was hilarious. It was cute. And then we find out that Hippolyta and Dee are coming on this trip. Montrose is looking like, my bad. I mean, it's their car. They want to come. Like, we gotta take them. We gotta have a reason to use the car. So they're going to the museum to find this vault with Titus's stuff in it. And so as they about to pull out, then we see Tree, the homeboy from last week who was lying. If lying on your D was a person, honey, it's him, honey. So he pulls up or whatever, saying that he heard they was going to Boston. He trying not to ride the bus or whatever. Can he catch a ride with them? And Hippolyta is like, come on, nigga. Come on and come on. Ruby is looking like $1 million, honey. Ruby is walking down to the Marshall Fields. And I didn't know what Marshall Fields last week was. I figured it was a department store, but I didn't want to say that. But I got some confirmation. Thank you guys in the comments to let me know that Marshall Fields was a department store. Not too many black people worked at this department store or whatever. So when she gets in, I don't know if she came in to apply or she was just coming in, just to check out the scene or something. I'm not exactly sure. But when she walks in there, she sees that there's a black girl there. And so she kind of gets upset because I'm thinking that she was coming in there to apply because she was trying to apply first. Remember she told last week she was trying to get her resume together because she wants to apply at Marshall Fields. And she probably got tripped up, held up, by doing this thing with Letty at the house. And now that she's made it there to apply, she sees that there's a black girl there. And she instantly knows that once there's one black girl that she won't be able to get a job. So she kind of plays it off like a customer, and you can tell that the girl said, I just applied on a whim. I'm glad I did it, and I just got the job. And so like you can tell that, damn, I've been working on my resume all this time, and I should have just applied. I should have just applied on the whim like she did, and I maybe could have got this job. And she knows that they're not gonna hire 2 black people. So it's like she's really disappointed about that. I felt for her. So the crew arrive at the museum, and Hippolyta and Dee, they leave off and go off on their own. They say, be back here in 2 hours. And y'all, they didn't come back in 2 hours. They kind of just forgot all about them, which I thought was really messed up. We see Montrose go off to talk to the security guard. He kind of, gave the signal like, I'm ready to talk to you. Tick and Letty are talking about how they need to find the vault. And we see them looking at the brochure and talking about the Titus Braithwaite room. He's saying it could be anywhere, Then Tree starts asking about dinosaurs, talking about where the dinosaurs at. And they like, we not over here yet. And he was like, well, I'm sure we'll make it there in 3 hours. We'll figure it out. Tick walks away, and Tree says to Letty, you know why they call me Tree? And she was like, no, because, most men got 2 legs, but I got 3. I got Tree. I said, this is the most raggediest, sir. I'm going to need for you to, sir. This what you doing? He was like, well, shouldn't I know that already since we fucked in high school? Lying ass. Seymour. We see Dee and Hippolyta, they're laying down in like the astrology room or the, what is that? What do they call it, y'all? When you go in the room and you see the solar system, that room. So they're in there, they're looking at the skies, and her mom says the name of this comet is called Hera's Chariot. Hera's Chariot. So I looked up Hera's Chariot, and Hera is a goddess of marriage. She's a goddess of family, and she's a goddess of childbirth, okay? She's one of the 12 Olympians, and she was the sister and wife of Zeus, daughter of Cronus and Rhea. They're titans, and she presides over weddings and childbirth. And one of her major bad characteristics is that she's very jealous of Zeus's lovers and his offspring, and her chariot is pulled by peacocks, which I thought was pretty interesting. She didn't get credit for it. Nancy Shoemaker, who is like the niece of an astrologist, got the credit for it because they didn't want a black girl to be the face of, you know, whatever the competition was that she won. And so she says, well, Dee says, well, Mom, you should have fought that. And she says, well, the only thing that matters is that we know the truth. And Dee is like, my mama named this comet. Okay, it's called Hera's Chariot. Not everybody know the truth. I said, that's right, girl. Let them know, little sis. So they're going on the tour of the Titus Braithwaite room, and we see all the artifacts that were given to Titus on his many travels in exchange for teaching the savages the ways of the civilized man. Did y'all hear that little voiceover? I said, wow, okay. Tree asked Tick if he told Letty what he said about her on the last episode. I mean, you can have her if you want her or whatever, but it's no need for you to backstab him. Like, Tree is really making this situation about him, sir, and it ain't about you, sir. Like, don't nobody care about you, nigga. Tick is in a whole nother world. He's looking for the map. He sees the map of Titus's travels. I think it was through the Caribbean or something like that. He sees the map of his travels, basically. And while, you know, Tree is talking in the background, and he says, well, I know why you mad at me. It's because I sent you in the back by Sammy to see what he was doing with that man in the back. And he says, nah, that's Sammy business or whatever. And he was like, you sure it ain't your business? And he give him the look. And first I was like, do he like him? What's going on, Tree? You just trying to get somewhere, but you trying to get some? And he turns around and Tick is like, I'm not a sissy. And he says, oh, I never thought you was or whatever. But you ever notice how your daddy and Sammy got real close since you left? And you know, now Tick is looking like, oh shit, oh well, is it something I need to know? I don't think Tick probably don't care, you know what I mean, that much. I'm just gonna be honest with you. But you know what I mean? It would be shocking nonetheless. So I think that Tree was trying to do something big or try to make this big splash, you know what I mean? And you really did it. And my thing is, we already know that Tree be lying. So, I mean, can we really believe what he's saying, or should we just take this with a grain of salt? I feel like we should just take this with a grain of salt for some reason, okay? Could be true, could not be true, and I guess we'll find out later. Tick sees Montrose talking to the security guard. They shake hands, and he comes back over to Tick, and he says that the security guard is going to let them in later on that night. And Tick is like, well, how you know him again? Like, how you know him? He was like, I mean, I just know him from the bar. Like, you could trust him. You know what I mean? It's good. And he was like, listen, we ain't got time for all this. We got 2.5 hours before the next shift comes on. So they have to find the vault in this amount of time. So then they turn around and notice this huge statue of Titus Braithwaite. In some kind of way, I thought that was this is the way to get to wherever you're getting is going to be through this gigantic statue in front of you, okay? So we see someone watching as Christina pulls up to the house in her car. She gets out of the car and she goes to the front gate, but she like walks over to the side. And I thought it was the gate, but I didn't see no house back there. So is the house still standing, or is it ruined still? Like, I need confirmation. Why you going to a house that don't exist no more? But anywho, she got out of the car. She goes around the corner, and then she come back. Well, then William comes back out around the corner. Now, this is starting to make me think that her and William are the same person. They look exactly alike. Okay? Hair, blue eyes, down to everything. So, are y'all the same person? Because you ain't never seen them in the room at the same time. I'm starting to think this is what's going on. So William comes out around the gate, and by this time the police officers have noticed, these are probably some of Captain Lancaster's people, I'm assuming, that the police have noticed that William notices that they're there. And so William comes out the car and promptly beat everybody ass like they stole something, okay? Collect himself and say he got a date. He got to get up out of here. Tick, Letty, and Montrose have gotten into the museum. Tick goes over to the statue and he's looking at it and he's saying that this is the door, but we got to figure out how to get it open. We got to figure out the clues. Montrose notices something over above their head. It's like a light that's flashing through the windows, and he tells them to turn off the light. And in true Goonies, okay, like Indiana Jones fashion, the light shines from the window down to the statue over to the map, and it like connects and it hits this other piece. It's like a piece of crocodile tooth or rock, you know, and Letty moves the rock and the door opens and they're able to get inside. As they go down, it's another room that has 3 different tunnels, okay? And so at the thing, it says, beware of all who tread the path, the tides will rise. And we'll see later on that the water does start to rise later on in this episode. So they must pick the right tunnel. He needs the map in order to figure out what tunnel to pick. So Letty snatches the map before Montrose can even get out of his mouth that they was told, the security guard, that they wasn't going to take none of the artifacts. So she comes down like in a moment's notice. One thing about Letty is that she have no fear. She's a brave ass woman, and she be saving them in the clutch. Like literally every episode, she be saving them in the nick of time in the clutch, okay? That's the type of woman you need to have by your side. This part was so funny to me, y'all. I was dying. When Michael K. Williams was coming down that doggone rope, when Montrose was coming down that rope, honey, I was screaming because he was like, oh shit, oh shit, damn, goddamn. Whoa, Lord. And fell on the ground, y'all. I was dying. I was like, if I took my Jonka Johnny on a trip to the center of the earth, this would be the experience, okay? I lived for that moment with his mean ass. When he got up there trying to help him.
I don't need no help. Let me go.
Child, you with your mean ass. Tick says the compass and the ledger lines up. If they get to the end of the tunnel, they should be able to find the buried treasure. The last 2 trips that Titus went on was to the Caribbean. And so he says he rated Guyana for everything that they have. So the tunnel should be going west. Letty is like, wait, how do you know he rated Guyana? And he was like, just like everybody else knows, I read a damn book. And she says, well, I read the brochure, and it says that some renovations were done to the museum after he went to the Caribbean in the year 1810. Montrose says he established the sons of Adam 3 years later. So Atticus, some kind of way from this, they figure out that the North Tunnel is the one that they should go to. I have no idea how they got to that conclusion, but we going in the North Tunnel, okay? We can tell that Atticus is scared, okay? He's scared to go in the tunnel. That part was cute. They had one part where Atticus was scared, and they had another part where Montrose was scared. So I thought that was cute, because he like, wait, let's think about this before we go in, because they just go in. He like, no, wait. And they like, we don't have time. We don't have time to wait. We got to go, so let's go. So after they get ahead of him, he like, wait, hold up. Don't leave me. So we down to the bar, and Ruby is down there singing the blues. Child, she playing them little raggedy chords on a guitar, looking depressed, stressed, upset, least, last, lost, and left out. You hear me? Nobody ain't clap for them. She said, well, you too. And she go to the bar to get her a drink, and Sammy tells her, don't worry about paying for it, because Blue Eyes got you at the end of the bar. So she looked down to the end of the bar, baby, guess who down there? It's William, baby. I said, uh-oh. I know where we about to go with this. I know what's gonna happen, bitch, and I'm here for the shit, okay? William come on down to the end of the bar, and he like, what's up with it? You know what I'm saying? Can I sit here with you? And she was like, you keep my drink filled, you can do whatever you want. Because she ain't new to this, she true to this. She says, I hope you don't think I was modest, because I know that's what you white boys come down here to the dark side for, you know, to get you a little taste of chocolate. He says, well, what if I told you that I could change your life? She was like, well, I'm going to tell you, you wouldn't be the first white boy who telling me whatever I want to hear so that he could lay with me. And he says, what if I told you that's a promise that I could keep? And she looking like, all right, that is all right, okay. Back in the tunnel, it's been 20 minutes they've been walking, so they're running out of time, right? Montrose's flashlight starts to die. It does die. And as they come around the corner, they come out into this bridge that's one wooden plank across the thing like a drawbridge. How we gonna do this? I'd have been like, I quit. I'm going back. I'm gonna wait for y'all in the car. Just call me when it's over with, because I'm gonna holler at y'all later, okay? They don't want to do it, but they ain't got no time. So Tick said, We got to get across there. So he starts to tie the rope. He starts to tie the rope around Letty's wrist. And she like, wait a minute, is this rope going to hold me if I fall? And so Montrose goes into this story about how he learned how to tie this knot from him. And he learned how to tie the knot from his father and from his father because they were slaves. And they had to tie up the horses. And if the horses got loose, then they would get beat. And on Juneteenth, his great-grandfather walked out there. He had never got whooped. And all of this here. And I'm just like, I was screaming, yeah. Y'all put that clip on Instagram and everything. I'm like, you better preach the word of the Lord because this special knot will not hold, okay? It's gonna hold, baby. Like the cornerstone, honey. Christ alone, cornerstone. I'm hyped and everything, right? You like, okay. So she goes out there and Tick turned around and was like, hey, the Freemans was never slaves. That's a note for us. His family was never slaves. And Montrose is like, I mean, she out there, right? I said, child, you gonna lie to this girl? You had me hype. I posted you on Instagram thinking you giving the inspirational word and you up here lying to the people. I cannot with Montrose, child. He is a whole mess. She gets about halfway across and she screams. And so Tick started to get nervous, you know, his girl out there. So he grabbed the rope and he like, I'm coming. So he starts to walk out there to her. And when he gets to her, she screamed because there's a gauntlet that's swinging across. And so he's telling her, okay, you're going to have to time it, you know, and go across. It's not that big of a deal. Just run across. And she's like, it is that big of a deal. Boy, you just untied the safety net for me. It's a big damn deal, okay? He's like, okay, go. And so she sends her and she makes it across. And so now Montrose looks down and the plank starts to disappear. Child, my pressure went up. I said, oh my God. Jump! Don't you think? So he starts screaming. You can tell that Montrose is so scared. He like, I can't do it. And I promise you, I'd have been like, I'm gonna meet y'all in the car, okay? Just call me later. I'm gonna be in the car. I'm just gonna go back home. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna catch the bus. Don't even worry about it, okay? Don't even worry about it. So Tick is like, you gotta do it. Throw the bag. So he throws his bag and Tick missed it. I said, oh shit.
Oh my God!
He gotta jump. He runs back, right? And he jumps across and he like,
nigga, you better catch me!
He go back and he goes and he jumps and Tick catch him. Oh my God. And they make it all the way over there and they each, you know, they go across the gauntlet. They make it to the other side only to get stopped by a stone door with another damn puzzle on it. So Montrose is turned around looking at the plank and he's trying to figure it out. He's saying the thing that's on the book, you know, the bylaw book, you know, Eve, Adam named, Eve did this, and God smited Eve. So it's like a puzzle. They had to figure it out. And once they figured it out, it opened up and now they're in a new place. And when I tell you it brought joy to my life, that Montrose was so hyped that he made it through. He was like, man, you seen that shit, man? You seen that shit? Just always ain't got nothing on me. I said, you better. Even Letty giggled. I was like, I love this show, okay? I love it. It's like so adventurous and legendary, but black. It's like if Indiana Jones was black, this how it would be.
Nigga, you seen that shit? You seen that?
I love it. I live for this entire show. Like, I love it. Like I said, now it's water beneath their feet. And Letty goes to check on Tick because he's bleeding. She's like, you know, you bleeding. He was like, damn, I know. Like, he snatched away from my said, you got one more time. She trying to check on you, Funky. I ain't like that. He talking about we need to keep on moving. So the water is starting to rise. Like we said, the tides was going to be rising in that sand. So he says he know. He did all the calculations in his brain, and they have about less than an hour or something like that to find this thing before they drown. So then we back to Ruby. Now Ruby is down to the barroom telling all her family business. I was like, girl, hold up. Now you telling all the business, girl. Wait. So she's telling all her family business to William, and he's just telling her, well, maybe you should just apply for the job anyway. And she's like, I can't just apply for the job. I know that place got 103 employees and 2 of them will not be black. She says it's a race, it's a rat race to the finish line, and the winner takes all. And if I was your color, I wouldn't even have to run. She says, I know what it is. Basically, I know what the situation is, but I don't know what to do about it. And he says, well, he started looking at her like, you know, I know what to do about it, girl. Okay? And she's like, don't be looking at me like that. I told you it ain't gonna happen. Next thing is happening. Okay? She about to bust it. Bust that thing wide open. Bust it. Bust it. Bust it. Bust it. Ruby gonna be singing a new song tomorrow, bitch. They go back to the house and they bust in the door. They kiss and I'm like, give us this big girl love. I'm here for it. Because the lady who plays Ruby is absolutely gorgeous. Have y'all seen her like without the wig and stuff? Like she's a beautiful black woman. Okay? I don't know her name because it's hard to pronounce. And I'm gonna figure it out what it is. I might put it on the screen right here. But homegirl is beautiful. Y'all need to go look at her face. Okay, she's a beautiful woman. She's a beautiful woman. And William look good too. He fine as hell. Okay, so they go to kissing and knock over a statue, and her hand starts bleeding. And he looks at it, and I was like, "You're not gonna lick the blood, cause this some freaky shit. This some different type of freak shit." Okay, I was turned on, but I was scared at the same time. Okay, he licks the blood, and they go over to the stairwell. Now, I'm not sure who house is this. I want to say this is Letty's house, and maybe he used Ruby to get over the threshold of that house, especially if he's Christina. Okay, so they're the same person. That could be happening. I don't know. What do you guys think? I think that was Letty's house because I mean, Arden don't exist no more. It's not like he could take us to his house and it's in a whole nother state. So, and it wasn't a hotel room. So yeah, I'm thinking they went back to Letty's house and maybe he used that to get over the threshold of that house. And so anyway, they get in there, they start kissing, making out or whatever, and she take off his clothes and she gets on top of him, and he have like this swirly like brand on his chest. It wasn't a tattoo, it was a brand. And so, you know, she like, oh shit, you sexy. Okay, you dangerous, Sunday. Okay, you look dangerous. You look gangster right here, baby. And so he flip over, baby. He went to stroking. He stroked it to the east, hey, and he stroked it to the west. I said, little white boy got a stroke on him. Okay, wait a minute. And they went to getting it. I said, you better get some. Get some, sis. Y'all ever talked to a white boy before? Tell me about it. How did it go? Let us know in the comments, okay? I might give y'all a little story time one day. So we back in the tunnels, and Tick is going way faster than everybody, and Letty's like, hey, can you slow down? I can't see. And Montrose is like, this is what they taught you in the, what did he say? The, what do we call the system that the, what did they teach you in the army? Did they teach you to leave your good soldiers behind? And Tick was pissed, and he turned around and he said, I ain't never left nobody behind in the army, okay? But when the people I was in the trenches with, I could trust them. So Tick be feeling a lot of ways, it seemed to me. Like he have a lot of emotions and feelings, but he don't know how to express them. As we can see with him and Letty, he really likes Letty. He cares about it. He might even be in love with her, but he just hold everything on the inside. He don't say it because he felt some kind of way. Montrose is like, what the hell that's supposed to mean? And he said, how you know so damn much? You know how to do these puzzles and get through these tunnels, and you know all of this stuff. What the hell is going on? And Montrose tells him that George gave him the book, the bylaw book, before he died. He was really supposed to give it to Atticus, I think. And he says, well, what did you do with the damn book when you was going to tell me this? And he says, I read the book and then I burnt it. They like,
nigga, what?
Closing Pandora's box because his brother said it was his dying wish for me to take care of his family. He was low-key telling him that's your daddy, low-key. But you know what I'm saying? We're going to skip past that. And Tick is like, well, why you out here helping us? And he says, because you won't stop. And I'm not about to sit in Chicago and let you walk headfirst into the lion's den with no backup. Like, he if that Letty. I'm like, why are y'all so mad at Letty? She ain't did nothing but help you niggas, and she didn't have to do none of this shit, okay? And so Letty like, man, bump this. She goes, she walks away. And so Tick is going back and forth with his dad, but then she sees a body floating. And the body is one of the neighbors that went missing that came in the house last week. So my mind is like, we saw the bodies at the bottom when the elevator went down last week. So the house must be connected to this place in some type of way, okay? She says, I think that's my neighbor that's missing. And so even she like, wait a minute, what the hell is going on? And then they see the elevator ahead, and they go up to the elevator. She knows it's the elevator from her house, and she said, Hiram was probably looking for those papers too, and that's probably why he ended up dead. Tick is like, it's getting too dangerous. Y'all need to get on the elevator, because if they get in the elevator and go up, she's going to be home again, okay? So they in Boston now, and she's going to be home again in Chicago if she get on the elevator. Make it make sense, guys. So he says, y'all need to get on the elevator. It's getting too dangerous. She like, listen, you need to cut the shit, okay? You need to stop acting like this is just happening to you. He was kidnapped and I died, my dude. I died. Stop acting like everything about you. You are not the center of the damn universe. I was like, thank you, God. And she pushed him and walked past him. I was like, because we tired of your ass. Got a damn attitude all the time. She pissed off. And she in front of them, she swimming and, looking at stuff, investigating. She ain't got time for Tick. She worried about, like, why the hell I'm down here with these niggas? I could have been at my damn house, okay? And, Montrose and Tick, they have a little talk. And he tells him, you need to apologize to your girl. And Tick's like, I don't think it's going to be that simple. And he said, well, your mama was complicated. And Tick is like, well, she seemed to have done all right with you. And he was like, she did. But she was crazy like the rest. And he said his grandpa always told him that he should have a love song for his woman. Because anytime they go to fussing, you just sing the love song in your head. And when they done, you can go back to the loving. Because that's what all that fussing is anyway. It's just good loving. And I was like, boy, you better let him know. Because when we fussing at y'all, it's because we try to talk to you and tell you regular like 2 or 3 times and you didn't listen. So now we gotta fuss at you. We fuss at you about going to the doctor because we want you to be alive. Okay, we fuss at you about being right with your money because we don't want to be broke. We want to have somebody who we can go on vacation with and lead. Okay, lead the family. That's why we fuss. We fuss out of love. Come on now. If you did it the first time, we wouldn't have to fuss. I just want to throw that in there. Okay. Lady calls out and she has found the vault. So they go up to the vault and they see, all these inscriptions on it. And we see a dismembered arm that somebody tried to stick their arm in there and things didn't work out for them. So he realizes that if this ain't going to work, then I'm probably going to lose my arm. So he takes the ring out of his pocket. He puts it on. This is Tick. And he sticks his hand into the hole. And it gets cut. Something happens, but it doesn't take his arm off. His blood is good. So the blood goes up. It goes, up into the thing and it lights up and everything starts to light up. And the doors open up, and lo and behold, I don't know how a doors open up and a ladder drops down. So they climb up the ladder, into the ladder. It looks like the inside of a ship to me, but it's like a vault, a room or whatever. And inside of this room, there's like dead bodies all over the place. One of the dead bodies got a baby in her arms. They're like sitting at the tables. There's a lot of different figurines all over the place. And we see this one dead body, or Letty notices, the real MVP, okay, she notices that the papers are in this skeleton's hands that's on the desk kind of bent over. So they go up to go grab the papers and the skeleton started to come alive. Bitch, that shit started looking like Thriller. Motherfucker say, dun, dun, okay? Dun, 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 dun. I said, wait a minute, bitch. Where's Michael Jackson? It's a man/woman, okay? It come back alive, back to his full form of glory, butt naked with the little wee-wee. I seen the wee-wee right there. So I was like, it's a man/woman. And the only reason I'm going to use the pronoun she is because Letty used the pronoun she, so I'm going to go with that one, okay? So she starts to speak, and Tick understands the language. The language is R-whack and a whack or something like that. So she starts to speak the language. Tick understands her, which shocks the hell out of Montrose, and Letty, it would shock the hell out of me too. So she asks, is he the family of Titus? And he says, yes, by blood, but we're not family. Like, I don't know him. We just have the same blood. And then he gives her some clothes to put on. Montrose is like, who are you? What are you? And her name is Yahima Marakoti, okay? She's 2 spirits. She's man, she's woman, and she comes from a land of many waters. Titus came in search of someone to read the book. She said she knew all the symbols from the cave of Alamun Kunde. She said she had no reason to distrust him, and she never knew a people who was always hungry, basically mean always wanting something, okay? And so when she figured out that he was fraud, that, he said, okay, you ain't got to decipher no more papers. I'm just going to bring you back to your people. But his idea of that was killing her whole family and locking her in a vault with them to the end of time. That's a dirty ass dog, child. So Tick says he was a monster and I'm sorry for what he did to you, but I need your help to, so that he won't do the same thing to my people, or, so that I can help my people. And so she said something to him, which is basically like, you are not responsible for what your forefathers did, but I don't know you, fam. Okay, I'm cool on it because your great daddy, you know what I'm saying, pull the okie dokie on me and say, I don't know you, fans. So, y'all cool or whatever. Thank you. So I can tell my story, my testimony. But I'm cool right here. So she go to sit back down in the chair. And so they like, well, fuck it. Let's get the papers. Let's get up out of here. So he goes to grab, Letty goes to grab the papers. But when she does, the walls bust. The vault starts to cave in. So they grab Yahima and they run out of there. They get into the elevator, swimming through the water. Letty notices that the papers get let go. So she goes back out to get the papers. And I was like, here go Letty again. Saving y'all ass again. Here she go. Okay, here go my girl about to save your ass. So she goes out there. She gets the papers. She makes it in the elevator at the nick of time. And then he kissed her in the elevator. I was like, It's about time, Atticus. You stop playing games, okay? Yahima goes to open her mouth and talk, and she just screams like it's a siren. She screams to the point where Tick punched her out, y'all. I don't know why that shit was so funny to me. Like, I busted out laughing. It was just so like Acme cartoon, like punch the hell out because she's screaming, okay? Then we see Hippolyta and D, and they're on the way back home. Hippolyta looks pissed off because they were supposed to meet back up in 2 hours, right? But they never met back up with her, obviously. And D is like, well, how they getting back to Chicago? And she was like, I don't know. D is like, well, everything's been weird since Dad died. And she's looking at an atlas. And Hippolyta's like, where you got that from? And she was like, where you got it from? And she was like, damn, I just got it from the glove compartment. So she pulls over, she looks at it, and she kind of sees the last place that they were in, Darwin County, Dale, whatever county that was, where Artem is. And then she turns around. I was like, this ain't gonna be good. This not gonna be good. D is like, well, where we about to go? And she was like, to get some answers. I'm like, oh, it's about to get spicy. So now we back at the house. And Tick is talking to Montrose, and he says that because after he talked to Yahima, he comes out the room. He's talking to Montrose, basically saying that she thinks you're right. She thinks that Titus made her a siren, so she can never tell what happened and what he did. So it's a good thing that they got the story when they was down in the vault, because when she got out, she wouldn't have been able to tell it. She don't think that she can break the spell, but he says if they have the pages now, so maybe if they teach her English, it might be easier for her to just write down what's in the book instead of them trying to decipher what's on the pages. Montrose tells his son that you a good man. You were so brave out there today, and you've become a great man despite me, and your mama would be proud of you. And this just fills Tick up with joy. You can see his heart is just exploding with joy, baby. He's very excited. He's very happy that his daddy loved him like this, okay, and gave him a moment. And even Montrose had a moment where he swelled up. I wanted them to hug, but I know that they hoard. They ain't gonna be hugging them. Shout out to Rox. They ain't gonna be hugging each other. It was a nice moment between the two. But as soon as he walked off, and then Montrose started walking, I said, what he about to do? So he goes into the room with Yahima, and at first I thought they was on we got something going on secret, you know what I mean? Because she didn't really say nothing, you know, he just walked in there. But then he goes around her back and he put his hand on her shoulder. And see, even that would have caused me to go, what the, you know what I mean? Why you put your hand on my shoulder? But he put his hand on her shoulder, and then he whispers in her ear, I'm sorry, and he slashes her throat. I really think this is another attempt by Montrose to kind of quell this whole thing, saying that if you decipher what's on these pages, like, it could be, you know, the end of the world, or whatever Christina wants could be coming to fruition. So I'm trying to do everything I can to stop it. But I think that it's still going to have the opposite effect, because this is supposed to happen. This is meant to happen. It's going to happen, whether you want it to happen or not, and whatever you do. Just like when people say, what God had for you is for you. So whatever is in God's plan for Tick's life, it's going to happen. No matter what Montrose try to do about it. When I tell y'all my blood pressure was on 1,000 watching this show today, I ain't lying. Okay, I had to watch it 2 times just to get myself together, y'all. It was a lot. The first time around, it was a whole lot. The second time, at least I knew what was gonna happen. Everybody was gonna make it out. I feel like Hippolyta about to be a problem. Okay, especially if she figure out how to unlock that time travel thing and go back in time and save her damn husband once she find out what happened to him. Because when she get to Artem, we'll see if Artem is still in one piece, if it done magically came back together, or if it's still raggedy, or if she run into Christina or William or whatever. We're going to see what's going to happen with that. I'm starting to think that Christina and William are the same person, because they kind of made it kind of obvious the way they walked around the corner and came back. And did y'all see the preview for next week? It looks like this thing with Ruby and William is going to continue on for a bit. And you talking about you can change my life, but I'm the maid at your house. That ain't life changing. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I was just like, I mean, okay. So we'll see what happens next week. It looks like it's gonna get popping, and everybody who gets screeners to the show, I can't wait till I get to the point where they send me screeners. That'll be so cool, right? To get like 3 episodes ahead. But everybody I know reviews that they get to the screener says that episode 5 is the episode we all just gonna snatch us bald headed. Okay, so I'm ready. I'm excited. I'm super excited. I don't know if they're going to give it to us on Sunday or they're going to make us wait another week for it, but even still, I'm cool with it. So I want to hear your thoughts about this episode. Please follow me on Instagram. I know I have put my tag somewhere in this video, so please feel free. Follow me now, because I'm a hot girl. This weekend, we're going to be doing Power Book 2. I'm going to give it a couple episodes. Let's see what's going on with it, okay? I want to see, the only reason I'm watching this show is for Tasha. I want to see what's going to happen to Tasha, okay? I really don't care about Tyreek. And we're also got P-Valley season finale is going to be this Sunday, okay? So, this show ain't no joke. I think it just came out, so I didn't have enough time to like do all the research and make sure I got all the tidbits. So whatever y'all know, tidbits that you caught, Easter eggs that you dropped, please feel free to put them in the comments for me, and I probably will come back with another comment after, you know, the episode is official and the podcast come out, and maybe some more, you know, Easter eggs that I didn't know about. Like, I really want to research Yahima and everything that she was talking about, but I just didn't have time. So, you know, let me know if you know, and then, like I said, I will add some more comments. I will put a pin on the comments so you can see, you know, if when I watch it again, these are some more things that I noticed. If y'all are not in the Lovecraft Country Facebook group, you should join that group. I'm in it. I think I dropped one time that I did reviews, but I don't want to break the rules and be plugging myself all the time or whatever. So, you know, it's in there. But I'm in the group, and come and join us. We talk about a lot of things, and people put a lot of interesting information out and theories that are very cool. So join that group. They ain't paying me to say this. Okay, they should be, but they ain't paying me to say this. I'm just telling you to join it if you like all things weird and, you know, HP Lovecraft Country, such and such, so forth, Matt Ruff, and so on. Okay, so I will holler at y'all next week. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Peace.